Howdy there YouTube, this is T Walker aka Tanner, gonna do a video for you today in response to a question from one of my subscribers. Yes, that's right, I actually have subscribers. Anyway, um, actually I've done this video before, I even posted it before, but someone told me the sound quality was bad, so I took it down and I'm redoing it now. So let's get into it right now. The question was posted by Mega Monster Cookies, and that question was all about Mao-wejj. Mao-wejj is what brings us together today. Mao-wejj, that blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream. Marriage. He asked me about player characters marrying non-player characters. Now remember, this is a video in my new player video series, so all my comments are going to be directed towards new players. Now keep that in mind because it's a very important detail to what I'm about to tell you. Don't do it. Just no. No. Don't do it. No. Not worth it. Not worth the stress. Not worth anything it's gonna bring you, which is a bunch of stress and some awkward situations. Because that's what marriage is for new players. Um, Now, Liking 101 also did a response video to Make Monster Cookies question, which is very good. Guys should go watch that too. He talks about the complexity of marriage. What are you going to do with this new character now? Is she going to come with the group? Can she even? Is she just going to get in the way? Now, that can provide a lot of role-playing opportunities, which is cool. Um, it is a little complex and you do gotta think about it, but it can provide something cool. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. And this is why I don't like running marriage with new players. Because the logical outcome of marriage ends in two things. Either awkwardness or hilarity. And most of the time you don't want your marriage or your game running into those points. If you're trying to get people to seriously roleplay, you don't want every single moment to just be hilarious all the time. Oh, those are birds in the background, just so you know, I hate them. I hate birds. Anyway, so you don't want your a lot of the time you don't want your game running into awkwardness or hilarity, especially, marriage can and should be serious some of the time at least. Now, especially this part I'm going to talk about, this should never be funny, and if it is, somebody's doing something wrong. Um, Sex. The logical outcome of marriage is sex. Marriage without sex, there's obviously some sort of problem there. Now, in a fantasy game, and not fantasy the genre, this is a joint fantasy shared by a bunch of people. Now, in a fantasy, I'm guessing you're not marrying, so let me divide this real quick. We have marriage for love, and then marriage for political means. I fully endorse the marriage for the political means, for money, for power, because you have to, but because it's a marriage without love. Without love, without passion, without lust, it's okay if there's no sex. However, if your player character marries out of passion, out of lust, out of love, out of whatever, any of those, shut up, birds, that the logical outcome of that is sex. Now, you don't want to roleplay sex with new characters. They can't do it. Most times they won't want to either. And now the problem with marriage is that either yourself as the GM or one of the players will accidentally step into a bad situation because it makes sense to do so. Let me give you an example. They get married and that's all fine. Everything's going well and good, and they come back from a really long really long adventure. I mean, even if you get all that down, she's staying home, with her parents while you're adventuring. That's just weird too. Anyway, so you come home from a really long adventure. Your wife's waiting for you, and so your player character goes, "Okay, well, I take my wife to the bedroom." Now you're kind of stuck. Do you say, "Okay," and you guys do whatever, and now you're done? Or, because a lot of the time, the new players, they won't really get it. They'll go, "Okay, what happens?" And they'll wait for that, Fable, the video game moment where the lights dim and they hear, "Ooh, ah, so naughty," all that crap. But that's not what sex should be like in a serious or a semi-serious even game. Marriage should be serious some of the time, and sex is a serious thing. Like I said, if you're having sex and the other party is laughing, you might be doing something wrong. I'm just saying. But so you take that moment, and it's very, very difficult. Actually, I would say impossible for new players to keep that moment semi-serious. And they just push it into hilarity. Because as soon as you guys start describing what you're doing, as soon as you start describing her moving and moaning, and your other players, if they're new, will most likely start cracking up. Because they're uncomfortable. And what do you do when you are uncomfortable? You laugh. Or, on the opposite side of that, they might not laugh at all. They might sit there like this. Guys. And start dry heaving. That's the other side. You don't want them doing that either. None of these are good outcomes. Now, of course, you're thinking, okay, well, I'll just, they won't have sex ever. The problem is, when you're trying to get people into role-playing, you want to present them situations that are very real. Now, she's going to need to reason that this new wife that he has doesn't want to have sex. And it looks like there's someone at my door. Oh, there is. I'll do part 2 video.